Hello and welcome back. This is Ash. In this session, I will be walking you through the overview of calculation of the KAS power. Now, this consists of two parts. First, we find the KAS basic power and then the KAS total power of plan for all the 7 planets for all the 12 houses. So, let's get into it. Now, everything begins with the Bhinashtak Varga. This is the foundation. This has been given to us by the sages, and this is the very foundation of Ashtak Varga. So we take the Bhinashtak Varga chart and we apply it based on the position of the planets at birth. We distribute the power that we have. For example, sun's power. The sun's power is distributed from the position where sun is. Moon's power is done similarly. So take the position of the moon and then start distributing the power with relation to sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and ascendant 8 reference points, which means Ashtak 8. And so we do that for all the planets, and once we distribute the power, we total it up, and that's called sarvas. Sarva means the total, so we total up the positive points, bindus, contributed by each planet for the house. So we take sun's has 5 points for the first house, contributes 5 points, moon 2, Mars 6. We total this up, and for the first house, the points are 35. Similarly, for the second house, we have 33. For the third house, the total is 34, so on and so forth. Then, we also covered this in the lesson of BAV and SAV, that if you want to drill deeper and find out which 2 of the 8 planets or lagna has contributed to moon's 2 bindu contribution to the first house, we go into the moon's PAV, right? And we look at the first house, and we can find the sun and Jupiter are the 2 planets. So we make a count for 1 bindu each, that's 2 bindus, and that is 2 bindus out here. Same way, sun contributes 5 points. We go to sun, we look at the points here. Saturn is the first, Jupiter is second, Mercury, Mars, and sun totaling up to 5. So once we have these points distributed based on the natal placement of at the time of birth or the Prashna chart, we distribute the points and we get the total. Now this Sarvashtak Varga chart becomes the basis to calculate the basic points. So we take the Sarvashtak Varga chart and we apply the Upchay theory, and we take the totals of house A, B, and C. House A is the Karak star, B is the Phal, and C is the Phalit star, it's called. Or basically A is the 8th house from the house under focus, B is the house that we are focusing on, and C is the 5th house from the house of focus. Now, I will be covering this in detail in my next course, but for now, we have to just understand that the basic points is the planet's own strength. So this way, by totaling up the basic power of the planet, we get the own strength of the planet for all the 12 houses. As an example here, you can see sun is pretty powerful. For first house is 13 points. Anything more than 12 is not read. So here for sun for second house has 7 basic points. Its own strength for second house is only 7. The third house is 14. Mercury has only 5th. Its own strength is weak for the 5th house. And at a glance, you can see, if you are studying the 5th house, you can see that only Venus and Moon are the only 2 planets that's basically its own power is good for 5th house. Then from the basic power, we apply further laws, and which factors in photon, special status D&E planets, which we add the aspects of planets on the lords of A, B, and C, and aspect of the planet on the lords of A, B, and C. We also make adjustments for the sixth house lord power, and after doing all that, we get the total KAS power. This is the net and final effect of after all the plus minus and all the Vedic laws applied to get the basic points. So now this is done in our program through a basic series of worksheets, which is what I am going to give you a quick overview of. We come back to our program here. If you will see here, I have the Ashtakvarga power. This is where the SAV is. If I click here, I'll go to the PAV, I return back, and if you can see if I go back to the northern chart here, you will see that I have the basic points of the main Rashi chart here and the net power here. So how do we get these points? So basic points and the total points are computed in these worksheets down here. From H1 is house 1, house 2, house 3. So for each and every house, I have a worksheet here that computes these houses and totals up the net points. For example, here I can see Sun has 13 points for the first house as the basic power, and then after applying the additional laws, the Sun's power goes down to 7. So how do we get this? So I go into the H1 because we're studying for the first house. We'll go to the first house. So I come here. This is where all the action happens. So here I have identified the house. I have the calculation starts here. So basically I take for the planets, I get A, B, and C house totals. I get 13. Again, then I will be going through this in detail. This is just an overview. So Sun's points are 13. Then I factor in the 410, which is called the Karaks, that exchange of Parasparak Karak in the Vedic astrology. Then I have the special Upchayastan lords, D and E. I factor these planets are very eager to give the results, so we add points. We add some additional points to it. Then we factor in the aspect. So the planets that are aspecting house A, B, and C. Then we also do the calculation for planets aspecting the lords of A, B, and C. Once that is all done, we total up all these points. So as you can see, Sun has 13 points in the basic here. That is what's displayed here. Then come back to H1 here. Then there is no points, additional points added due to the D and E lords. So the point remains 13. There are no planets aspecting Sun. So aspecting house A, B, and C, which is the 11th, 4th, and 8th house. But you can see Moon is aspecting Sun and reducing Sun's power by -6. So the total is reduced from 13 to 7. And that is why you can see Sun's power has gone down to 7. From 13, it comes down to 7 because of Moon. Here, Moon aspects Sun. Moon has 6 points, so it will be having a malefic drishti of -6 on Sun, and it will take down Sun's points from 13 to 7. So that's how we do this for each and every planet for all the 12 houses. So this is all the calculations that go behind coming to the net power. So we are doing so many calculations and this KAS dashboard just portrays the summary of it. So that's it from me for this overview of the power of the called the KAS power and net power, which is this, and the basic power of planets. And just for another information, in divisional charts too, we only calculate the basic power. We do not have the net power. We do not consider the photon, the aspects, and additional things. So we only can do the basic power of the planets for house A, B, and C for the divisional charts. Okay, my friends, that's it for this session. I shall see you again in the next session. In the meantime, take care and see you later. Thanks. Bye now.